Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Patrick, aka Chief Pat, and today we're going to be hopping into the next episode of my Let's Play Clash Royale series where we are back inside the legendary arena at 3,000 trophies. Now, I'm at 2,997 right now, but you can drop like 50 trophies below the arena level and still remain inside the arena. So I'm still legendary as of right now, and we have a legendary chest inside of our shop that I would really love to go ahead and purchase. However, we're on our free-to-play account, so as much as this legendary chest tempts me, and as much as I know there's a princess or an ice wizard or a lava hound inside of it, we're not going to be able to buy it on this account. I'm hoping on my main Chief Pat account that eventually I'll get a legendary chest. I don't think I've gotten one yet. Maybe I have gotten one, but this is the first one that I've seen on my Chief Pat 2 account. Unfortunately, just going to have to put it away for now and keep grinding this account out free to play. And that means we're going to stick to some of the common cards and the rare cards we get inside of the shop. I do have 17,000 gold, so I could buy the bowler, but honestly, a level 1 bowler isn't going to do too much for me right now. I'd need to have it at least level 2 to really make an impact for me. So yeah, just going to go ahead and keep saving up those gems as much as I can. I'm at 95 right now. As soon as we get 5 more, I might be able to do a tournament and use that to maybe get a legendary card or at least get a bunch of cards in gold to use towards my deck. But anyways, let's go ahead and show a couple of replays of what I've been doing recently on my Chief Pat 2 account. I've been fighting a lot of battles and actually been having a pretty decent amount of success. And take a look at the deck that this guy is running right here. So this guy is specifically running a Lava Hound Lumberjack legendary deck, an LLL deck. I don't know if I've ever seen this before, and it turns out to be a pretty crazy deck. Fortunately, my Fire Spirits actually help out just enough against that Lumberjack to take down him before my Valkyrie dies. So as he dropped the Cry Face because he attacked my side and did a bunch of damage, I'm going to go ahead and throw him a Cry Face back. All is fair inside of war, and my Giant's going to beat that tower down to 290 HP, so things are looking really good right now, and we've definitely taken control of this battle. Now, he does have a very slight elixir lead, and I'm going to have to counter that princess with my own musketeer right here, and as he charges up his elixir, it looks like he has the barbarians inside of his hand, but he's going to switch to the miner, which I don't know why you'd play the miner instead of barbarians right there. I'll play my Valkyrie to stop this miner in its tracks because it would do a semi-decent amount of damage against my tower. Not sure exactly if it was worth it, but I'm going to do it anyways. And here's where he whips out his Lava Hound. Now, the Lava Hound is really hard for me to counter because he has the Lava Hound and he has the Fireball. And the combination of those two, I only have the Musketeer to kill his Lava Hound, makes it so it's extremely difficult for me to take that Lava Hound out. But fortunately for me, I did such a nice counter push down that right-hand lane that he's going to run out of elixir to play a Fireball on top of my Musketeer. So my Musketeer is going to be free to chop away at this Lava Hound and start taking it down to 0. Now, if he realized that he could have just Fireballed down my Musketeer, then he would have just been able to take that tower absolutely no problem whatsoever. But fortunately for me, that's not going to happen. We have our second elixir pump right now, and he's sort of wondering what he's going to play. He'll actually bring out an elixir collector as well, and take a look as my Valkyrie makes its way down the left-hand lane. It's actually going to get a single hit off against that tower, which is oh so crucial because that means we're only 2 zap spells away from taking that tower out. And let's go and go for a push down the right-hand lane with Giant Sparky, and he's going to commit all in down this left-hand lane with the Barbarians, the Lumberjack, the Lava Hound, and the Princess. So absolutely crazy push right here from this guy. He's really just going all out to try to take this tower out. Goblin Barrel's going to go down. I'm going to zap that down as soon as possible. The Lava Hound is inside of the Rage spell, so it's going to do a pretty decent amount of damage. But meanwhile, down the right-hand lane, while this has all been going on, his tower got absolutely annihilated, and since his tower in the left-hand lane is at 98 HP, we're actually going to be fine just to run down the lane, take that out, and be able to wrap up the game. So he will end up eventually taking 1 star from me right there, but with 4 seconds left, or 1 crown for me, with 4 seconds left, 2 crowns are already down. We actually would have gotten that 3rd crown if we just had a couple of more seconds to wrap up that battle, but 2 crowns to 1 for a fairly simple win against a deck you don't really see all that often. The Lava Hound and the Lumberjack, honestly, you don't see a ton of. I think both of them are actually fairly good cards. I know a lot of people say the Lava Hound's terrible, and they get their first legendary, and they're like, oh man, I hate that it's the Lava Hound, but for me, I feel like against a lot of the decks that are in the meta, the Lava Hound is super strong because people don't have an air counter inside of their deck. For example, I only have a Musketeer, and if you like bring a Fireball alongside your Lava Hound, there'd be literally nothing I can do. I would just like swipe out of the battle because I couldn't do anything to stop it. But let's go and get into the next battle. We're going to be facing off against a level 10, and he has a level 11 Royal Giant. An over-leveled Royal Giant is one of the most annoying things inside of the game. And it's such just a frustrating card when it's over leveled and your opponent keeps spamming it down your lane. So I'm going to have to deal with that for this entire battle. I've actually made some fairly good elixir trades so far. I'll drop a Valkyrie on top of the Spear Goblins to make sure I don't take any more damage on that right hand tower. But at this point we have a massive elixir lead. He's going to play his Princess. We've got our Valkyrie locked onto the tower right there, and that's going to be 2 free hits against the tower. And now we can just go ahead and set up and get ready to counter his push. Now, as the Princess goes down, he's not going to follow up with anything, so I'll just use my my Fire Spirits as soon as it reaches the middle point of the map, and he's going to play his Sparky right now, so I'm going to get ready to zap that down and hopefully be able to take it out. So Zap's going to go down, which he obviously didn't expect, and since we zapped it, we took out both the Sparky as well as dealt 1300 damage to his tower right there. So this game is going absolutely perfectly. He really doesn't know how to counter our Sparky, even though he has the own card, and usually I find people that have the card that you're playing know exactly how to deal with it. Like when I ever tell you guys you're struggling against a deck and you don't really know how to play against it, I usually just say try it out yourself, because once you try a deck yourself, you really find out the weaknesses to it, as well as obviously the strengths you probably know against if you've lost against it so many times. So in this case, he's sort of struggling against my Sparky usage, and with the 1 minute left in the game, only 452 HP against this tower. Now, the other sort of weakness of my deck, besides the fact that it doesn't it doesn't have great defense against air attacks like that Lava Hound I was telling you guys about, is the fact that this deck doesn't have any direct damage against towers besides the zap spell. So besides like 68 damage that you get from the zap spell, almost no direct damage inside of this deck, so sometimes it can be tough to get those last couple percentage points. But luckily for us, my Giant in that previous push actually got that tower down from 452 to where I could just zap it and take it out. And as we push this right hand lane, I'm going to go ahead and throw out a good game to hope that he gives up and gives me the crown chest, which it looks like he is finally going to do. So he's not going to play any more cards. Sparkies are going to lock onto the tower. That's going to help me get 3 crowns towards my crown chest, and just a little bit closer towards getting my cards towards the tournament standard. Right now, a lot of my cards, as far as my rares go, are level 6, and my commons are level 9 inside of my main deck. So I just need to get my rares to level 7, which is a little bit difficult. It takes 100 rares to get your rares from level 6 to level 7, and seeing as you can only request 3 or 4 at a time, depending on if you're in the Frozen Peak or the Legendary Arena, it takes a good amount of time to get them up to where you want them to be. But since I am Legendary right now, I'm just enjoying it. I'm requesting as many cards as I can. I'm enjoying my free chests, which have way more goodies inside of them than if I hadn't been inside of the Legendary Arena. And as we start off this next battle, let's go ahead and counter this push that this guy has going on. I'm going to play my my Fire Spirits in the way back to try to get as much value as possible by getting my Sparky on the battlefield. And as he goes ahead and plays his Barbarians, we're just barely going to get a shot off onto the tower to bring it down to 588 HP. Alright, so Barbarians were going down the lane. As he drops the Hog Rider, I do have a cannon, so I'm going to go ahead and play that, even though the Hog Rider has already reached my tower, and the cannon actually ends up saving my Valkyrie, and things are looking pretty decent. We are down as far as elixir goes, but only just a little bit, and since we do have a 400 elixir lead on the tower, I'm not feeling too shabby about that. Only a couple more giant hits on that right-hand side will be able to take him out, and as I try to counter his miner, he's still going to get an insane amount of value off right there, and maybe not the smartest play to play my Fire Spirits. So resetting for the battle, he does have a fairly decent lead, just a little. You can see that elixir pump on the top left. That's pretty much the lead that he has, plus about 2 elixir. And as he goes down this right-hand lane, the Musketeer and the Ice Wizard are going to be going down. The Fireball as well. My Valkyrie is going to be able to stop those troops that are in the back. But as the Hog Rider approaches my tower, pretty much nothing I can do. And yeah, the tower is going to be all the way down to 25 HP. As the Miner goes onto my tower, I was hoping my Sparky would turn around and blow the Miner up into pieces. But first tower of the game has gone down. And as the Barbarians swipe pipe down my Sparky. 2 of them will die, 2 of them will stay alive, and that means my Giant should be able to clean this up, and we're going to be going into double elixir. So all in all, not too bad. I feel like the beginning was a little bit shaky. We've been in an elixir deficit ever since then, but at this point, really not too bad at all. I'm going to play a Musketeer to counter the Barbarians down the right-hand lane, and as he fireballs himself, that sort of confused me for a second, and I actually didn't play any cards. I wasted maybe like 2 elixir right here, but he played a fireball on his own side of the map instead of a Musketeer, and that's 4 elixir down the drain that he definitely could have used. Now the Miner's going to get blown up by my Sparky. That elixir is going to be absolutely perfect, or Collector, and at this point he's just freaking out. He's just dropping everything that he has and hoping that he can stop my push. He's holding on to some elixir right now as we take out that elixir pump in the center, and as the Barbarians go down, the Sparky's going to blow them up. At this point, it is good game, well played. We both know that it's over. Sparky's going to take out that tower, and that is going to be the end of the game. Now, of course, I'm going to go for 3 crowns and try to get as many hits as possible off with my Sparky against the King Tower. Fire Spirits are going down, Zap is going down as well, and 280 HP left on that tower means we're barely just not going to get it, and we're going to end up with a 2 crown to 1 victory. So, guys, things have been going pretty well on my Chief Pet 2 account. Been getting a lot of trophies. I've been hovering around 3,000. In and out of the legendary arena. Like I said, still staying completely free to play, so unfortunately not going to be able to get that legendary chest because I don't have the gems that it requires. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you smack that like button with your right index finger. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.